Hello, my name is Alyssa Gulino, and today I'm going to discuss with you a research project that I have done based on childhood obesity and the child's self-esteem. So today we are going to discuss why is it important that I did conduct this study. We are going to talk about factors that contribute to obesity, the methods that we have done that went with this research, the results from those methods, and the test that we completed, as well as the limitations of our research and what we would do in a future research. At the end, we are going to have a few minutes for some questions, so if you feel free to ask any questions at the end. So why is this study important? Right now, there is an epidemic with childhood obesity here in the United States. In fact, 1 out of 5 students will become obese in their lifetime. The prevalence right now is 18.5%, and it affects over 13 million children as of today. Also, the United States, as opposed to other countries in the world, is ranked extremely low with levels of physical activity. So it's really important to try to find out why are children becoming obese and what we can do to even help them. So basically with my research, I want to see if maybe self-esteem can be one of those factors that is causing childhood obesity. So some factors that are known right now that can cause childhood obesity are genetics, your metabolism, your nutrition, a child's physical activity. Are they just going home and playing video games? Are they getting outside? Are they moving around? A short sleep duration. So is the child getting that 8 hours of sleep needed to rest and restore their body every night? And like I said, we are trying to see if maybe self-esteem can be on that list of factors that are causing childhood obesity. So as far as our methods, we used a secondary analysis for this research, and all of the data came from the 2015 Youth Risk Behavior Survey. The survey was conducted by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Now, the YRBSS for short was developed all the way back in 1990, and it was to help monitor health behaviors that may be contributing or be the leading cause of death, disability, and even social problems among people throughout the United States. For my study, we used a chi-square test to determine if there is a relationship between self-esteem and childhood obesity. So you may be thinking, why did I choose a chi-square test? To be honest, a chi-square test shows how likely it is for something to be observed, an observed distribution, due to chance. So for my study, the chi-square would show if there is a direct relationship between self-esteem and childhood obesity, as well as how strong that relationship is. Is it just, was it just by chance, or is there really a relationship that self-esteem can be, in fact, a factor of causing childhood obesity? There were 2 chi-square tests completed for my research. The first one involved a person's perception of their weight and if they seriously considered attempting suicide. During the second chi-square test, it was their perception of their weight, if they thought they needed to lose weight, gain weight, if they felt that they were okay, or maybe if they felt that they were a little too overweight or too underweight. And if they ever felt sad or hopeless or seriously considered attempting suicide. Now, for this second test, we are seeing if they have attempted suicide. For the first test, we are seeing if they thought about attempting suicide. Some of our results from our research include that there was a significant relationship between the two. If a person's perception of weight, if they have considered or even attempted suicide, as well as weight loss, and if they have, like I said, a thought about attempting that suicide as well. Our surveys had over 12,000 people that felt that they needed to lose weight, and 15,000 people took the survey for their perception of the weight, as well as if they considered attempting suicide. Now, I just pulled out some information and I made two pie charts, one from the first chi-square test and the other is from the second chi-square test, because I thought that they were very key components in our results. So for the first chi-square test, the question was, do I need to lose weight? 82% of people felt that yes, they do need to lose weight. And only 18% of people felt that they did not need to lose weight. For the second chi-square test, it was based on if they felt they needed to lose weight. So the first one was asking the simple question, do I need to lose weight? And during the second test, we asked if you felt you needed to lose that weight, like we did in the first. However, we also added in that component of also if they have attempted suicide. So out of the second test, 35% have attempted suicide or contemplated attempting suicide. Of that 35%, 65% of those children felt that they needed to lose weight. So that is more than half of the children that have actually attempted suicide could have been because they thought they needed to lose weight. And that could have weighed on them, and it could, in fact, have been one of the reasons or one of the factors. So like I said, all the data came from the 2015 YRBSS. We did a secondary analysis. We used those chi-square tests to determine if there was or if there was not a relationship, as well as, in fact, that it did show that there was a very strong relationship between the two. And this study can hopefully help decrease that childhood obesity rates because, like I said earlier, they're really rising. The prevalence is getting higher, and we're trying to really decrease that percentage to help the children so that they can live long, healthy lifestyles. Some limitations of this study are that we only focus solely on if self-esteem is a factor of childhood obesity. Now, there can be multiple factors. Now, we talked about genetics, we talked about physical activity, nutrition earlier that are factors. For a child that is obese, maybe it was genetics. Maybe it could have been genetics, nutrition, and physical activity. So it's a little tricky because there can be multiple factors causing a child to become obese. As far as for health educators, some implications are that the research on this, it's so prevalent right now, and the study, everything is always changing. So as long as the health educator is doing that professional development to stay on top of strategies and ways to live a long, healthy lifestyle, they can then teach the children or their students those strategies and help them live that long, healthy lifestyle so they can live long lives and they don't have to worry about things like obesity in their way. So for health educators, they should always know new prevention and intervention methods. For future research, you can look into the significance of those other factors that I have talked about earlier, as well as sometimes environment, financial status, your socioeconomic status, their parents' education level can even be a factor. So there are multiple factors out there. So definitely for future research, I would say to not only focus on one factor, but try to do a research where we can see maybe which factor is the highest in causing childhood obesity, which maybe even the top 3 that rank the highest in childhood obesity, so we can start there and work our way down, finding those factors and trying to decrease the likelihood of those factors for the children. Because the more research that is done, the better educated the educators are, the health educators are, and the prevention and childhood obesity will be more likely of a result. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me now. If not, I did add my email on here in case you're not comfortable asking questions in front of everyone. That is fine. You can email me at any time and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.